Quick announcement before we start, I just dropped my recent UGC Shinobi set with a special eye patch and metal arm, and I have even more news about that today. It seems you guys like the release, so we made even more variants for the metal arm. If you like, there's a darker black version and a white and black version that I'm gonna release soon, and you can customize these. Both of these work on R6 avatars, so be careful when you equip them. The UGC link is gonna be down below, and comment what you guys want to see next, since I'm working on new stuff. What's up guys, it's Punchy, and we're back with yet another Deepwoken weekly update, and this one is pretty helpful. You already know I'll be testing everything and breaking it all down if I can, so let's get right into it. Earlier last week, we got a full-on rework to character customization with the newly organized categories, and we have even more facial options than before. Besides that, we also had the April 1st Deepwoken Battlegrounds event, which happened on April Fools. That was last week, and it already wrapped up this update, but let's see what's in store coming today. As always, if you truly want that full experience, I recommend hopping into the game yourself and testing everything new. Let's get right into it. Before we even get into gameplay, we got hit with another wave of customization, and honestly, I didn't think they'd go this far. Yeah, it turns out making markings was easier, and we already got the payoff. This patch dropped a whole set of facial burn scars, and they go pretty hard. We've got a pretty good range of options. There's small burns under the eyes, full-on facial scorch marks, or something in between, and it adds a ton of depth to your character's design. And if you're into cosplay style builds, this is your moment, because you can do Sabo, Todo, Todoroki, you can cook all of them, no pun intended, with this feature. I'm a fan, and I want to see what you guys create. Besides this, GANYMEDE finally has access to facial markings, which wasn't a thing beforehand. Honestly though, they're pretty simple and match with the theme of the race, which is distinct, and I'm a fan. Overall though, GANYMEDE is a pretty big favorite in the community, so please share your thoughts down below. Also, as a small bonus, we can choose this crazy raised eyebrow meme on almost any race, which is just legendary, and now CHRYSIDs can determine if they want eyebrows or not, since they're new. Anyway, enough with all the customization. Today, we have a crazy new legendary weapon, and this time, it's another heavy greatsword. Sure, we've had a ton of these in the past, but trust me, this is definitely not the same when it comes to gameplay. Introducing the Lumensplitter, I'll go over the showcase first, then move on to the obtainment. At a first glance, this weapon looks very different compared to some of the other greatswords. For starters, it's one of the only greatswords that isn't double-sided, with a bunch of serrated blades at the end. Sure, it looks pretty unique, and yeah, it stands out. In combat, the M1 attacks for the Lumensplitter aren't exactly different gameplay-wise, they're pretty standard, but they will be dealing innate bleed damage for a little bit of a boost. Now, with the critical, this is the main focus of this weapon, and I genuinely think, well, yeah, it's gonna be the craziest thing. It's gonna be the biggest problem, it's gonna be the biggest upside, it's just everything is this critical. So, with the drawn-out wind-up, we slash around with a radial dance of slices, hitting everything nearby while inside full hyper armor. Near the outside radius of this critical, you'll be hit with damage, but up close this thing grabs and whips players around. Also, once you're hit, you kinda just have to deal with this damage, and there really isn't anything that you can do. Fundamentally, this thing is just broken, and in a gank setting, imagine what happens with other pools, damage sources, even multiple of these weapon crits. It's just gonna be chaos. The Lumensplitter might just break the game as we know it, but we'll have to see. Now, let's discuss the obtainment. Seriously, as I'm making this video, I'm gonna be honest, I think it was bugged and was releasing early, so people got this from the Duke, from Chaser, from Chime, from anything, but I'm sure there's a special way to obtain it. To my knowledge, I don't know what that is, so comment down below. And besides this, there's a new currency which we can use. This endgame currency for Deepwoken is called crowns, and it's displayed with a green icon near the rest of your resources. So, crowns can be turned into notes or knowledge, but they cannot be exchanged the other way around. Currently, you can unlock crowns only through doing world events or bosses, but this should expand in the future. Also, currently found in the overworld of Meteor Isle, there's a special NPC that only accepts crowns for dye packets, and they're pretty funny to say the least. Crowns are cool, and it should be an expansive system as more stuff releases. First up, we got a brand new setting that might fly under the radar, but could actually change a lot when it comes to gameplay. This is the preloaded animations toggle. So when this is enabled, most player and mob animations are preloaded the moment you join the game. That means the first time any animation plays, it should be running properly instead of bugging or skipping that we're used to seeing. Now, to be clear, this won't magically fix the notorious half animation skipping, but it's a solid quality of life boost boost that might smooth out gameplay. Be careful though, because there's probably going to be a trade-off. Loading times might go up since you're loading every single animation in the game, so if your rig can handle it, definitely give it a shot, but otherwise, if you have a lower end PC, keep it off and save the extra seconds. Moving further, with game optimization, there's been a lot behind the scenes changing to make combat feel smoother. Both the Gale Breath Spectre Path and Jet Striker had changes to their bar buildup that purely fixes server-side problems. In gameplay, they should be near identical to before, but performance-wise, much easier on the server. Next up, we've got some balancing changes that could seriously shift the meta and humble a few players in the process. Let's break down the ones making the biggest impact. Kicking things off with some major Frostdraw changes, we've got a rework to a talent that's bound to shake up the meta and put an end to some questionable setups. The talent Fragile Freeze just got hit hard and it has a rework. What used to be a free freeze on any guard break has now been toned way down and it's different. This ability no longer activates off mantras like Ice Smash or any mantra at all, it only triggers off guard breaks from M1s or criticals. This change seriously narrows its use in combos, and while some players might call it a gut, it's really just evening the playing field for elemental builds across the board. Next up is a change to Frost's go-to getaway tool being Ice Skate. This mantra now forces the user to descend when used in the depths, cutting off one of their cleanest escape options in the game. Players used to zoom out of danger with a single button press, but that safety net is gone. In my opinion, it's a subtle nerf, but one that makes survival a lot more punishing when things go south, especially in the depths. Finally, we got one last major Frostdraw fix, and it's a big one. For some reason, Ice Cubes had a bug where parrying any cube was supposed to grant the defender auto parry frames, but that just wasn't working. This interaction was meant to give defenders a fighting chance when somebody rushes in while stacking this, and now it's been fixed, so yeah, you can defend. To be fair, I think it's a small change on paper, but it could be a big difference in high pressure fights since we don't have to deal with all that nonsense. Now, moving on to some BLOODREND tuning, it definitely got hit with a few nerfs to its own self-sustain. The biggest one here is being a drop in temporary HP potential, with Sow and Mend being nerfed. This has a lower healing cap and a longer cooldown, so you can't just pop it for free health when things get dicey. On top of this, Blood Wisp got toned down with its regen during combat, and this has just been overall reduced. So if you want to keep the pressure going, you actually have to land your hits on your mantras and earn that blood back. Overall, these are barely nerfed, it's a light touch, but I think it is a healthy shift for balancing the playstyle. Finally, moving on to some well-requested weapon changes, let's talk about one that kinda stings a little. One of my personal favorite weapons, and arguably the best spear in the entire game, well, it just got clipped. So, the Trident Spear's critical now moves the user slower while swimming, which realistically makes no sense, but gameplay-wise, it is a good idea. This ability was basically unmatched when it came to water escapes, and some people might justify this ability as catching players, but people used it to slip away and become uncatchable. So don't worry, that's not going to be as easy anymore after today's patch. Now, onto an issue that players have always been begging to see fixed, the Flame HEROBLADE critical is finally a little bit less janky. This move was always strong on block, and yeah, it scoops players into the air, but the awkward teleporting effect it used to have is officially gone. So, just like Rising Flame, once you're hit, you'll be pulled into the air instead of randomly snapping into the sky like half a second later. It's been cleaned up and is way smoother to use and fight against. And that's about it for today's update. Make sure you join up in-game, check out Battle Royale, and run some squads with your friends. Thank you to everyone who supports the channel because it really means a lot. If you want more content, you can join up down below as a member. For updates or to reach out directly, hop into my Discord or my guild and you'll find the links down below. Finally, join up my UGC group since I just dropped some sets and variants, so thank you. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe since we just hit 110k subs and I'm going for more. I appreciate everyone. It's punching time.